How do we create something that shapes our culture? Because culture is lasting. Vision changes. But if you're not intentional about your vision, culture's just going to happen. It's not going to be all that intentional. But if you have a vision, then your culture will be intentional.
Hi, I'm Kayla Heeter, follower of Jesus, wife and mother of 5 children, Christian childbirth educator and doula, and your host of the Surrendered Birth Stories podcast, where we share God-centered birth stories, evidence-based birth education, and our pursuit of surrendering our birth plans to God. Let's get started. Hey everybody, happy Father's Day. Happy Father's Day a day late, I suppose, because this always comes out on a Monday. But I hope you all had a wonderful Father's Day weekend with your father or your husband or your children or, whatever relationships you're celebrating. I hope you had a great time celebrating. I've celebrated this week actually by going to a few births, which is always an honor, supporting parents through, one of the most transitional seasons and experiences of their life. So that is always an honor, and I'm so glad to be there. This was a very birth-heavy week, but I was grateful and excited for it and happy for the new mamas out there, and you know who you are. Okay, you guys, I'm not really sure how to say this any other way, but I would love for you to please leave a review for this show, a written review on Apple Podcasts. If you're not listening on Apple Podcasts, I'm pretty sure there's a way to rate the show on whatever platform you're listening to. But Apple Podcasts is the only way where you can do a written review, which really helps get this show in front of more people. Because if someone else is out there like you, they would love it just as much as you do. Whether this is your very first time listening to this podcast, or you've been listening since the very beginning, or you joined us somewhere in the middle, I'm sure you've heard me at some point ask so humbly and kindly for you to leave a review. So if you could please do that and help us grow this show organically and naturally. I have no sponsors. I have no budget. I have nothing but a passion in my heart from the Lord to do this work with my husband and spread this word about birth and Jesus. So your small part you could do is to leave a review, and then, of course, to share this show with anybody you think would benefit from it. Any mamas out there, any newly married couples out there who are thinking about having kids, I feel like it's so much more beneficial to listen to this ahead of time, right? Before you're actually in it. So, and then obviously super beneficial while you're in it. So please spread the love. You guys spread the love. It would help us so much, and we'd be so appreciative. Now, if any of you out there are expecting a new little baby, our upcoming summer class still actually has several spots available. Our spring class filled up really quickly, but our summer class has several spots open. So if you're local to the Triad of North Carolina and you're ready to take our in-person childbirth course, we would love to have you. Please just reach out to me. My contact information is in the show notes. You can just send me a DM or send me an email, and we can get you set up for that. It starts in about a month. July 13th, I believe, is our first night. Now, if you're not here, you're not local, but you are pregnant, remember our online course is available now, and it's the same exact course that I teach here in person in the Triad, just online and on demand. So you can take it from wherever you live and at whatever schedule you need to take it. And then I do a monthly Zoom call that's live to answer any questions anyone from the course might have who's taking it online. So, time to sign up for classes. If you haven't yet, go for it. Please reach out to me with any questions you might have, or if you want more information on the class, there's more information on the website. Okay, so with it being Father's Day weekend, we like to do little specials every now and then, little topical episodes, once in a blue moon. And Father's Day felt like an appropriate time to do that. And I actually, Instagram, I did a poll, I think last week or the week before, about what should we do for our Father's Day episode, about who should host it and what we should talk about. And it's funny because y'all said that either me and Chris should do it together, Chris and I, sorry, grammar, or Chris and another dad. And I will just be totally transparent here. Chris tried to get another dad to do it with him this time, but none of the guys he asked were available. So I'm second best, I guess, runner up. And my husband and I actually will be doing this episode together. So I'll be more of the question asker and he'll be more of the question answerer. Speaking of, we went through and did another poll in the next Instagram story and just asked what you guys wanted us to talk about and went through some different topics on there, some different ideas and suggestions, and by a landslide, total landslide, the choice was to cast a vision for your family. How do you, as a father, cast a vision for your family? So that is what Chris, my amazing husband, will be talking about today for this Father's Day special episode. Well, welcome to another episode of Surrendered Birth Stories. I am your host, Kayla Heeter, and I have my favorite person in the world on the show with me today, my husband, Chris
Yay.
Heeter.
I'm back, everybody.
You're back. You're back, and it's not a birth story. You're just back.
Yeah, I don't know whether to apologize or to feel important.
I think you're important for sure.
Awesome.
We are recording this in our house, but in 2 different rooms, so we can both be on Zoom. And fun fact, our big kids are currently out in the kitchen working on a special Father's Day project for you.
Oh, I had
Yes.
suspicions, but I wasn't 100% sure.
Well, the little kids are sleeping, but
Yeah.
big kids are being creative and getting excited in the kitchen.
Yeah. They're jamming along to all their favorite tunes like Forrest Frank and all that stuff.
Oh, yes. They have been nonstop on Forrest Frank as of late. It's all stuck in my head.
Yeah.
But we're not here to talk about Forrest Frank.
Nope.
No, we are here because of what you voted for on Instagram.
Who is you?
Anyone who was on my Instagram stories about a week and a half ago,
Oh, yeah.
who saw my poll about what we should talk about for Father's Day. And so we are talking about casting a vision for your family. And when I say we, I mean you, Chris Heeter, are talking about this. I'm simply the interviewer. I'm here to ask you questions because this really is your area of expertise, not mine, although you have taught me a lot over the last few years. So I'm going to get us started just with the simple question of, because the language we're using could sound like a foreign language to people who haven't heard this terminology before. So let's just start off by identifying what is a family vision.
Yeah, so when I think about a family vision, I mean, it kind of sounds almost like you're trying to turn your family into a corporation or like like you think the businesses have, vision statements and that kind of a thing. But really all it is just discovering who your family is, who did God create your family to be, and then revolving your life around what that is. So, I mean, it's as simple as that. I mean, you take a personality test to discover who it is that you are, but why not take it a couple degrees further and say, who are we as a family? And so, what is the way that He has designed your family to operate
Mm-hmm.
to advance His kingdom? But to me, it's just looking inside and saying, what is due north for our family? What are the things that qualify even our schedules and what we're involved with? And I think that your vision can inform all those things as well. So,
Okay, so expand on why is it important to have a family vision? Like, okay, great. What's a family vision? We just talked about that. But why is it important to have one? And what does it help determine in your life?
so I think it's important because it gives us a compass for how to live our life. When you think about, steering a ship, if you don't have a compass, you don't know where in the world you're headed. You're just sailing open seas. And so this is something that I had to learn because vision wasn't really a part of my youth and my growing up. I did a lot of letting life happen to me. It's kind of the culture that I grew up in. And and I'm thankful for that because it's given me a lot of room to, grow on my creativities. So thanks, Mom. Thanks a lot for that, Mom and Dad. You guys are awesome. Um, when I think about the things that I had to learn, vision is absolutely one of them. And so what I've learned about vision is that what makes it important is that it gives you a direction to head. And so if you're not heading in a certain direction as a family and you're all kind of just living your own individual lives and you're living your own dreams and goals, there is power in that. But when you bring all of that energy together to run towards the same thing, there's a unity that happens there that wouldn't happen otherwise if there wasn't a vision in place. And so, I mean, it helps determine the involvements that your kids are in. So it's like, does the fact that my kid wants to do karate align with our family vision? Does the fact that my daughter, right now, our daughter's doing dance, like, does it align with our family vision? That kind of thing. It also, determines your schedules. Do you homeschool? Do you not homeschool? Do you encourage your kid to go to college? Do you encourage them to go into trades? Like, do you encourage them to start a business? I mean, family vision has everything to do. It should have everything to do with those sorts of things as well.
So just clarifying, it's like, as believers, as Christians, especially when we first got married, to me, it just seemed like, okay, we're doing the Christian life thing. We're getting married. We're having kids. We're starting a family. We are either working or staying at home or whatever. But we read our Bibles, we pray, we go to church, we worship, we try to be good people, and we try to raise our kids to be good people. And that was sort of like the purpose of life, do what the Bible says, try to grow close to God, try to get your kids to grow close to God, and then that's kind of it. But this family vision, like you said, it takes all that and then adds specifics and intentionality and direction and all of that, towards something with purpose, beyond just trying to be good people who love other people well.
Right.
Okay, so how would you go about creating a family vision? If this is something brand new to you, you've never heard of this before, what would you do to create it? What are some practical steps you would take?
I'll just kind of share what we did when we created our family vision statement, because that was kind of the pinnacle for us and kind of the crux of it all, because we didn't really even know you know, what a family vision was. We had some values that we had put in place and said these are characteristics of what we want our family to look like. And so that, I mean, we have it posted on the wall. And it's a list of probably too many things that, to remember. We could probably whittle it down so it's a little bit more memorable. But in terms of a vision statement, I mean, values determine what you do, but vision, like I said before, it determines your direction that you're headed. So it's kind of that contrast of what you were saying. It's like we want to be good people, but how do you use your gifts and your skills in order to make an impact in the kingdom?
Hmm.
And so that's what vision is. That's to me, that's just like I said, taking inventory of all of your family members and who God has gifted you with, how God has blessed them and gifted them, and kept being strategic about how to move your family forward and how to move the kingdom forward with your family. So what we did, I'll just kind of share what we did in terms of crafting a family vision statement. And this is kind of a process that one of my friends, Steve Manuel, took us through, was crafting a vision statement. Because if you have a vision statement that's concise and that everybody can remember, then it's easier to filter, all of the things of life through that vision statement, and to qualify and disqualify things that pop up in your life from day to day. And so I'll share what our vision statement is in a little bit, but we went on a family summit, which is basically just like a day or two long thing, you and I, Kayla. And we went through this course that my friend Steven had made on what it's like to, or on how to craft a family vision statement. And it was really fun. Do you remember what we did that day and kind of like the order of operations there?
Yeah, and I wanted to mention We actually first got introduced to the idea of a family vision statement with the book Take Back Your Family.
Oh, yeah.
That was,
Yeah.
and I think they called it a mission statement, like a family mission statement, but it's the same thing. Like they're talking about the same thing. Mission statement, vision statement, same idea, different words. And I remember for a few years, we were like, we had our values down. We were changing the direction of our family. We felt like we were following God's lead and what he wanted us to do in terms of big life decisions like homeschooling and me staying home and starting the birth business and all the different things. But we had yet to like actually write a statement and actually write like a vision and like write it down so that we could keep sort of coming back to that. And you actually kept bugging me about it. And I was like, yeah, we'll get to it. We'll do it. That's fine. Eventually, whatever. And then, yes, on our family summit this past year, we finally did that. And we took a day, we took a course because of your friend, Steven. And depending on the ages of your kids, this will look different. So if you have just one little newborn at home, then your family vision is going to, circle around just you and your husband. But if you have 6 kids at home and the oldest one is a teenager, then it's going to be a little bit more involved with, your kids and their skills and talents. So started with us, we did a history of like childhood and memories and things that we were good at, strengths we thought we had, weaknesses we thought we had. We went and we did this throughout the day. We went to like a coffee shop first, and then we went to a lunch spot, and then we went to a library, and then we went to another coffee shop, and then we went to dinner. And like we just sort of ping-ponged around these different places as we went through this course.
It was really
And
fun.
it was really fun. It was a lot of good food too. It
Oh,
was
yeah.
before I was pregnant, so I could eat all of it and enjoy it, which was great.
What was the best thing you ate that day?
Oh gosh, let's not get into that right now. I don't know. Don't get me off track, but I'm sure it was delicious. Actually, it was that sub from
Oh, you can't say it on air.
I can't say it on here, from a lunch spot in Kernersville. Let's just
Curse
say
word Yankees.
curse word Yankees. Dang Yankees.
Yeah.
It was really good sandwich though. Okay. So we went through and we did personality things. We did spiritual gifts, figuring out who we were as individuals, passions, hobbies, different things like that, memories, things when we were serving somebody else. Where did we feel good about what we were doing? Like good memories, bad memories. And it sort of just took us through all these different things and then had us compare, okay, well, where do we align? Where do things line up with each other? Like, as in husband and wife, like where are things overlapping? Where are we seeing sort of these similarities come together? And then where are they like points of passion and like good experiences that were mutual and not just individual? And so that really helped us sort of figure out what we were heading towards, what we did both feel really good at and passionate about together, which was kind of the point. And like we said, as your kids are older, you involve them in this as well. So the more older kids you have, the more complex this could be. But the longer you've done it, I think the more simple it is. Because that's the thing about a vision statement or a mission statement is it's not forever and it's not in stone. It's just for the season of life that you're in. And as your season of life shifts and changes, so can your vision statement. It doesn't necessarily have to, but it might, because our life 12 years ago, when we were a newly pregnant couple with just one little baby in the womb and just living you and me, it looks way different than now when we have child number 6 on the way and our oldest is a preteen and super helpful and has her own personality, and we have all these other kids. And it just and back then I was a teacher and I was working in a classroom, and now I'm at home and I am with the kids most of the time and we homeschool, but I also am doing birth doula and childbirth classes and podcasts and everything. So life just looks different. And so when life looks different, your vision statement can change. And sometimes your vision statement determines how your life changes.
So you're saying don't get a tattoo of your vision statement.
Right. Don't get a tattoo. don't don't make it permanent because it could change, and it's okay that it changes. But I think the important thing is that you've crafted one, that you have a starting point, that you have a base, something to work from.
Yeah, something to run after. Yeah, and I mean, what's interesting is that you think of a vision statement. Okay, well, it sounds like okay, that's pretty official. Yeah, you're right. It doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be this official thing that lasts and stands the test of time because it does change. But what it is designed to do is to get you from where you are to the next place of your life that God is leading you to as a family and even as individuals.
Yeah. So, practically speaking, I'm a practical girl. And this is probably because I was raised in the public school system. Tell me what to do. like, anyways, some good places to start. I would say the book Take Back Your Family is a great place to start.
Game
Fantastic.
changer. Game changing
Game
book.
changing book. And you know what? If your family is just starting, you should still read that book, but you don't have to take it back. It's sort of just like take your family, instead of take back your family. That book didn't come out until we were 10 years into parenthood, but it's, if you're just starting out, all the better that you can read that book now. It's by Jefferson Bethke. We'll link it in the show notes. Babe, what's another great resource that they can use to help them with their family vision statement?
Yeah, if you want to have the resource that we had, and be walked through the same process that we were walked through, we did it through my friend Steven, who runs something called Outpost Academy, drafting a family vision statement course. So that's just practically speaking, that is just about as practical as you can get.
Yeah, it's
Um,
very thorough. It's extremely thorough. So if you're
ye-
like a details type A person who wants something super thorough and step by step and fill in the blanks and all the things, then that would be a good path for you.
yeah, so we'll go ahead and link that in the show notes so you guys can access that if you want to. Also, just to be honest, if you listen to enough podcasts that are about family, you will start forming your ideologies even further and deeper about what family should look like for you. And obviously, you can eat the meat, spit out the bones of some of the things that people are teaching and preaching on these podcasts. But some of the podcasts that have been really helpful for me, number one, family teams. They kill it on that podcast, and they're all over family vision stuff. They really know how to talk about family, and what's interesting, if you're not familiar with it, what's really awesome about them is that Jeremy Pryor is the host, and he talks about how family, we think of it as a collection of individuals, but really the truth is we are called to be a team. And you think about, well, why teams put all the effort into put in meetings, to strategize, to do all these things that are much less important than the work that a family ever does over the course of its life. And so I listen to the Family Teams podcast, really great for that type of inspiration. There's a podcast called Courageous Parenting that I've been turned on to recently, which is great. Really, really love what they've put out. If you have a large family, I think they have 9 kids, 2 sets of twins in there, crazy. But they do a great job, just kind of talking about family and talking about what it looks like to be godly parents. And so I've really enjoyed that. Abraham's Wallet is a great podcast for anybody that is looking for family vision type stuff, but also in terms of finance, they spin finance in there a little bit as well. Their catchphrase is "Run your home and your dough like a biblical boss." It's a man's podcast for sure. Um, but that's fantastic. There are a couple other podcasts out there, but anything that you can listen to or feed yourself to be able to just make you more family minded. Because the truth is, like, we can get so bogged down with our jobs and with the things in our life. And even if things are crazy with your family right now, I mean, you can be distracted from rising up to, 20,000 feet and kind of being more strategic and saying what actually matters in this. And because I think I think dads, generally speaking, and moms can struggle with this too, but dads naturally can struggle with being reactive. And I think that if you look at it and get out of being reactive, and be able to be strategic about what your family should look like, praying about like, God, what do you want our family to do during this season of life? I think that if you can listen to anything, read anything, any resources that are available to you to um, regardless of ones that we we suggest or not, just get in that frame of mind. Get in the frame of mind of family improvement, of family centered thinking. And honestly, I think you'll be surprised at what comes up just naturally in your mind, in terms of how to do this, how to have a vision for your family. I personally think that this falls on the shoulders of the husband. I think that
The father.
that of the father, the father is the head of his family. So for him to be able to, the word that I think of is dominion. For him to be able to look upon his family with a sense of dominion and kingship is very important for a man. And I think that that's not something that's preached in our culture. That is something that is very much seen as it's frowned upon, honestly, in our culture. And I would love to see nothing more than a group of men, a generation of men rise up and take on the responsibility that God has given them. And I think the beautiful thing about marriage is that you work together as a team to be able to accomplish that, to accomplish what your family culture looks like. Because really, what we're talking about is culture. We're talking about how do we create something in terms of vision. We're talking about vision. How do we create something that shapes our culture? Because culture is lasting, vision changes. But if you're not intentional about your vision, culture's just gonna happen. It's not gonna be all that intentional. But if you have a vision, then your culture will be intentional.
Babe, are you ready to share what our family vision statement is?
Everybody's been on the edge of their seat.
Probably not, because I'm not even sure we really mentioned we were going to share it, but we are.
Yeah. So after that big long day at our family summit, we have our, I guess you can call it a seasonal vision statement, but this is something that we really feel like articulates the gifts of our family and the passions of our family. And boy, were there a couple of iterations of it, but we finally whittle it down to this, and we feel really good about it. The Heater family vision statement is the Heater family team. We call ourselves a team, yes, on purpose. The Heater family team disciples family builders toward vision and intentionality. So we filter a lot of our major life decisions through that. Right now, we're church searching, um, and we're filtering that through this statement. Are there potential people that would want to be discipled toward vision and intentionality? Are there families there? Are there fathers there and mothers who want to be discipled, or maybe they don't even know, but it just sounds good to them to be discipled towards vision and intentionality?
And ways that we can do this, it's like some of what came together is Chris and I have really enjoyed doing premarital counseling for couples over the years and helping counsel them through their engagement as they prepare for marriage to get off, to start off on the right foot and to start off strong and to have a great foundation and to help give them vision for their family. Part of it is Chris meeting with young guys who are just starting out in fatherhood, just starting out in marriage, and him just sort of guiding them and counseling them through what they're going through and helping them develop a vision to build their family. And for me, it's very practical as I work with lots of young families, lots of expecting mothers through their pregnancy and through childbirth classes, and through just being a doula for certain people and helping them start, really on the foundation of having their baby off on the right foot, like, and what's best for their family and guiding them, because those decisions can really affect other parenting decisions down the line and sort of um, start to create, what your family culture is from the get-go. So this is something we feel passionate about as parents right now. We're only 12 years into this, but we know way more now than we did 12 years ago. And it looks way different now for us than it did in the beginning. But I think had we known in the beginning what we know now, we would have definitely made some very different decisions over the years.
Yeah, and that's part of why it's such a passion point for both of us is because the as much as we both get really excited about you can call it mentoring or pouring into whatever uh people who are thirsty and yet naive about their stage of life is because we were those people.
Mm-hmm.
We were naive, and but also we were very teachable, and we were thirsty and hungry to learn what does it take to conquer this season.
And your family vision statement doesn't have to sound anything like that or look anything like that. And can be totally different. It might be about hospitality. Your family feels led to be super hospitable to people and to have people in your home all the time. So you make decisions based on what's best for having guests over, whether it's long-term stay or whether it's, weekly dinners or whatever. Maybe your family feels a conviction to serve the homeless. Maybe you as a family go out weekly and serve in shelters and serve around your city. Maybe as a family you feel led to just spread the gospel and you feel like you're an evangelist family and you go out into your city and into your community and you spread the love of Jesus through the gospel, and that's what your family is about. Maybe it's through cooking. Maybe it's you feel led to share the love of Christ through baking, through food, it could literally be anything.
If anybody listening wants to minister to us through baking and cooking, that would be great.
Babe, that's me. I do that for you.
Yeah, sorry.
Anyway, so it's just totally unique to who you are as a family. And it's not something that you necessarily are going to figure out in 1 hour, one meeting, one conversation, one day. It can really take time to work through, but that's good. And then it's always something to revisit, as seasons change.
So yeah, if you guys have any thoughts or anything about this, about a family vision statement or what it even means to have vision, we'd be happy to share any sort of information that we have beyond what we shared on this podcast. So just email Kayla at contact@surrenderedbirthservices.com and we'd be happy to help.
Yeah, just reach out if you have questions, and we hope you've had a wonderful Father's Day.
Yeah.
Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode. You can reach me at Surrendered Birth Services on Instagram or email me at contact@surrenderedbirthservices.com. Be sure not to miss an episode by hitting the follow button. Also, we'd love for you to leave a written review of the show so that more people's births and lives can be changed by the love of Jesus and the empowerment of accurate birth education. If you really enjoyed this episode in particular, please take a screenshot of it and post it to your Instagram story, tagging Surrendered Birth Services. If you would like to be a guest on the Surrendered Birth Stories podcast, please click the link in the episode show notes to fill out your interest form. Also, if you're interested in taking my childbirth classes, birth consultations, or having me as your birth doula, please click on the link in the show notes to take you to my website for online and in-person options. Just as a reminder, this show is not giving medical advice, so please continue to see your personal care provider as needs arise. We hope you have a great week, and remember, learn all that you can, make the best plans, and then leave it in God's hands. Don't try to sound like this super impressive cerebral person.
I'm super impressive and cerebral. You can't change that about me.
Try